And it is time. So, hello. I'm hiding down here because I've had some work done. The debut slideshow can wait for a second. Hello. Ta-da! It's still me, but I've gotten a lot more expressive. Additionally, I can stand all the way on camera now. Ta-da! Would you look at that? It's the entire person. Yep. Uh-huh. Look, man, I don't know how to do these model reveal things. There's a reason I didn't do a debut stream in the first place. We're just gonna move to the slideshow. I've got my my little have you considered thinking through the entire sentence before starting it? I have with me here a debut slideshow, which I am definitely not starting over because I was positioned over all of the text the first time I tried to record this. No siree. There's a reason this is not a live stream. Now, it says debut. That's not really accurate. Happy 2-year anniversary to my YouTube channel. I haven't given much of a proper introduction, really. You could go back and watch a bunch of the videos that I've already published and you could get a general idea of what sort of thing I do, but if you want a more concrete summary, just stay here. That's what this is. So who am I? Shirana Itsuki. Look at those pretty kanji. It is fine and correct to call me Itsuki, or Itsuki, or however you want to pronounce it. Parker tends to call me Shirana, that is also fine. I have occasionally been called Shirin. Overwatch's character limit made me remove a letter from my name, and so you might accidentally call me Shira Natsuki if you see me in Overwatch 2 now. Natsuki is technically a name. Shiranai Tsuki is not a name. That's not a name at all. And neither is Bird Brain, but that's what I title my bean in Among Us. How old is Among Us? You may also recognize me as Cheeky Dullard from Guardians. If you don't, then I've just said the most confusing sentence of this entire video. Guardians was a Dungeons & Dragons campaign, streamed. Cheeky Dullard was my character. His name was stolen by the Fae. Alternatively, if you frequent the Portland metro area or Reddit, there's a chance you know me as that Skitter cosplayer who went to Rose City Comic Con in 2022. If you saw Skitter there, that's me. If you don't know who Skitter is, read Worm. Here's a picture of the actual costume. Rundown of some quick facts. My birthday's July 18th. I'm 21 currently. I'm 5'10". My arm span is 5'8". That is not my wingspan. There's some other numbers there. I have type O blood, a very protagonisty blood type, apparently. I don't know how that works, but sure. The Myers-Briggs Personality Index lists me as INTP. This is something that I thought would be more relevant than blood type on an introduction page. Those letters stand for introverted, intuitive, thinking, and perceiving. The Myers-Briggs personality test is neat, and I'm pretty sure it's still freely available, so you can go check it out if you want. Some of my favorite colors are... I just put these numbers here because they look fun. That is a deep, rich green and blue, respectively. Now, I don't consider myself multilingual, but I have taken Japanese classes, and I've taken some German class. It was one class, it was multiple terms of the one class. Is that more than one class? Is that multiple classes? So, I can pronounce those two languages. That's something, at least. Here I've made a list of things that I enjoy and despise, respectively. I'm a big fan of making things, obviously. I'm a YouTuber. But besides that, I've dabbled in various arts and trades with mixed success, depending on the medium. Unfortunately, I'm not that big on deadlines. I don't like working under pressure. It makes it much harder for me to produce what I want to accomplish, you know? I love learning things. I'm very curious about a lot of different topics, and I'm constantly in and out of various educational institutions. When I say out, I mean graduating, I didn't get kicked out of school. What I do not like is feeling stupid, and the more you learn, the easier it is for that to happen. Because, well, there's just an infinite amount of things to learn. My final verb here is that I like solving things. That covers puzzles, that hits mysteries, solving mysteries, yeah? Solving problems. I don't like having problems, but solving them makes them go away. Isn't that great? I'm gonna knock out a bunch of dislikes at once now. I hate being busy. I am busy a lot of the time. It makes it very difficult to schedule. It makes it very difficult to meet deadlines. When I'm busy, I'm usually stressed. And when I'm stressed, I tend to shut down, which means I don't get my work done, which means I'm busier, because I have more work to do now, with less time to do it. Anyway, one potential contributing factor to my consistent busyness is that I really don't like wasting time. If I can multitask, I will generally pick the things that I can do together, even if something that requires my full attention is more urgent, and we're just gonna move on from that. I don't particularly like sleeping. There's a reason that, you know, night owl here, but also it's just another loss of time. Much like I'm losing time to explain everything that I need to get to before you run out of attention span. I mean, what am I doing making a video of this length when YouTube Shorts are all the rage now? I hate YouTube Shorts, by the way. That could go on the dislikes column, but we're moving back to the likes column. Languages. Linguistics fascinates me. It's tricky sometimes to actually learn languages, and by sometimes I mean usually, but using languages is definitely something that I enjoy. Using them, for example, to tell stories. We're getting ahead of ourselves. Let me backtrack a bit, connect the dots here, making things, languages. I like making languages. Bet you didn't see that coming. You might have. Did you predict that? I didn't ask you to predict anything. We're gonna move on. Storytelling is great. I like reading, I like writing, I like dungeon mastering, or game mastering, now that D&D is having a moment.
Oh, never mind.
Tabletop RPG games. I sure did say role-playing games. Whoops. Other types of games that I like exist. I like a variety of video games. I kind of like chess now. I was in a chess club in 4th grade, possibly several years in a row. I don't quite remember. I did get 2nd place in a chess tournament. However, caveat, the best chess player I know, or knew at the time, didn't enter the tournament. So, not quite 2nd place. Anyway, I've gotten back into chess recently, and while I do like games, I'm not big on losing because, well, it often feels like a waste of time. So competitive gaming is not one of my fortes. Moving on to the bottom of the list, I'm rather particular about food. It would be great if I ate healthier, but unfortunately, I like it when there is 18 grams of sugar. I put sour or spicy food in the dislikes column. That's not an exhaustive list. Finally, we have animals. I like animals conceptually and aesthetically most of the time. In a pet context, big fan of cats. In an eating context, big fan of chickens. There is an exception, and it is entomology. It is very much a coin flip whether I hate a bug or not. I don't like ants or flies or gnats, just pests that don't even serve any discernible purpose. I mean, I'm not an ecologist, but I'm pretty sure scientists decided we could just eradicate mosquitoes. I'm not sure why they haven't yet. Chief here, though, is fake bees. Wasps, hornets, yellow jackets. If I see anything in the bee genre, I am gone. I leave immediately. I have not been stung by a bee. I do not think I am allergic to any of these bugs. I simply respect the threat and will cede ground accordingly. Now, this figure you see before you appears to be an anime character. Thus, I have probably seen an anime before. Now, I am not unique and special in this regard. The first anime that I watched was technically Pokemon, but does that count? If it doesn't, then I started with Attack on Titan Season 1, and I did not like it. Second or third, I'm not sure. It's been a while. Death Note. That was good for most of... I do not approve of the ending. I hate the ending. Not because of the result, but it felt kind of lazy. Also, very early on, I did watch Sword Art Online, which was just frustrating. But before I just gave up on this whole genre, it's not a genre, medium, cultural category, I did find something that really hooked me, which I will save for later. I'm looking at the speaker notes that I typed up for this slide, and I just noticed that I've completely skipped manga. Huh. Well, I'll improvise that in a bit. My taste in anime consists of two preferred genres with a baffling amount of overlap. First up, cutesy stuff. I like Little Witch Academia, Dragon Maid, Squid Girl, Nichijou, which is a comedy, but, you know, those are all somewhat comedic. Also, two of those are kids' shows. Anyway, my other top genre is, outright psychological horror. Or paranormal thrillers, that sort of thing, you know? Parasite. Parasite was good. I actually liked the Junji Ito anime. I think Yojo Senki falls under this category here. Another. That's the title of a show. That probably counts. But it also kind of leads into the intersection of the two genres, which is where I like to vibe. Haruhi Suzumiya. Slice of life with an undercurrent of existential horror. Madoka Magica. Technically, that is pronounced Madoka Magica if you read the katakana, but that sounds dumb. So here's a wild shout out. Mayoiga, The Lost Village. I'm going to assume you haven't heard of that one. It is a sort of camping anime. A bunch of people ditch society at large, and the story is about overcoming trauma. So that's fun. But the legend, the absolute pinnacle of this category, the anime that got me into anime, was Higurashi no Nakukoroni. See, that right there is part of the advantage of this being pre-recorded. I can edit things in. I'm not actually putting a jump scare here. Manga. Just gonna briefly mention that the first manga series I picked up was Assassination Classroom. They had not finished translating it, somehow, when I started buying it, so I haven't finished reading that. The first thing I did finish reading was Fullmetal Alchemist, which I just bought all at once because I had heard it was good, and I don't like waiting for things. And yeah, it was good. I also have most of Nichijou. Apparently that's happening again. I haven't actually seen the anime for that, so I did mention manga on this slide in my speaking notes. Go figure. I'm currently picking up the Soul Eater manga. I liked the show, but I have heard they made some interesting decisions like halfway through. So, what the heck is a clown arc? Welcome to the gamer slide. We are having a gamer moment.
Oh no!
Now, in terms of gaming platforms, PC is overpowered. Steam is overpowered. For dedicated gaming hardware, though, my absolute favorite system was the Nintendo 3DS. May it rest in peace. You got Fire Emblems on there, you got Ace Attorneys on there, Pokemon's Smash 4, the best Smash Brothers. As far as my taste in games goes, I do like RPGs. Not that that category is very narrow. I play some roguelite games, Rogue Legacy, for example. I like Metroidvanias. I hate the name of the genre because it's clunky and very difficult to say, but I like that Toho fan game. I like puzzle games like Portal and the Professor Layton series, and I like things like Ace Attorney and Danganronpa, and I guess both of those technically fall under visual novel, so I mostly pick for story and style. Gameplay tends to be secondary, which is why I end up trying a lot of games from a lot of genres. Well, I end up trying a few games from a lot of genres. Currently, that includes Overwatch 2, which I stream on my second channel. I have to get that battle pass completed before time run out. Chess? Does chess count? I have a massive backlog of games. What if I literally just read my Steam library? The answer to that question is that it takes 4 minutes and it's not very funny, so I cut it out. Next we have music. My music taste is unhinged. The only real trend that I can identify is that I like moderately fast songs with strong melodies. That means a lot of soundtracks, especially anime openings and Homestuck. I like a lot of Mori Calliope, and I like a lot of Vocaloids stuff. Fairy, for example. I like Tsuyu. I don't know how to pronounce it exactly. Nano Okari. Lots of Japanese rock. Minami. Oyu Miyashita. I'm just shouting out talented singers from Japan. I do have some roots in American rock. Linkin Park, The Offspring. There's this band called Floater. Look up Stone by Stone, Floater, and just listen to that album. That's a bunch of jams. That's back-to-back jams. I also produce music, such as the music that I hope that I added to this video and didn't forget to add to this video. The background music, me, I did that. You know, I end up with a lot of 4-line pieces for some reason. Maybe it's a bad habit. You know, just as in either 4 instruments or 2 instruments. 3 instruments, and one of them is split across 2 staves. Like a piano, for example, right? That's one of my common setups is piano, and then a wind instrument and a percussion instrument. Alternatively, harpsichord, even better than piano. I usually write well above 120 beats per minute, but that's about as specific as I can get. I like having a project, like a soundtrack or something, because then I actually have something to work towards. I'm not very good at just writing a song by itself. Lastly, before we leave the music slide, musical theater. That's my performance background. I was trained in absolutely nothing. Got a part in the musical senior year, and it was a blast. If I could do another stage musical and I had time for it, I probably would, if someone let me. I enjoy that. For some reason, I shouldn't. I don't think I like being on stage, abstractly speaking. But you know, it's very different when you're sort of embodying a character, as opposed to, for example, giving a presentation. A presentation? But that's what I'm doing right now! Hey, so this cool model that you're looking at right now, the model art was provided by Lexie Began. I've got some other work that I pulled from her portfolio here. Yeah, she made my first model, and then I asked for legs, and Behold. I moved the wrong thing. Behold. It doesn't have the same punch now. My first model was rigged by me, badly, which is why I hired someone this time. This model was rigged by Leaf, a highly talented rig artist who is able to provide bells, whistles, etc. Look, I can even take my hat off now. That's what my hair looks like. Now, it's been under the hat for, what, 2 years at this point, so it doesn't look great, but, you know, if you were curious, I'm not bald. I'm not bald. That's going back on. I've closed out the slideshow here with a set of goals. We're gonna see if I can do all this stuff this year. Goal number 1 is survive college. To elaborate, goal number 2 is to finish a game on the channel, because last year, apparently, I didn't do that. That's not even hard to do. I just wasn't playing games all year somehow. Goal 3 is to finish Isakara, which is my web serial. Letters from Elsewhere. Isekai de Iro Nakama Kara. Tegami. That's the full title. I don't know if I've ever said that before. Anyway, the next chapter that I'm publishing is the end of Act 3. So we're moving into Act 4 in a 5-act structure. I think we're on pace to finish the story. We should be. It would make sense. Alongside Isakara, goal number 4 is to launch a new writing project. I actually have 2. So, whichever one works out is going to be the one that I claim for that goal. You'll get more details about that when it's closer to ready. Speaking of ready is a chess opening. I want to reach 100 wins on chess.com this year. I currently have 7. Okay, update, it's 8 because of this and this. I can lose rating. I cannot lose progress toward a quantity of wins. I can just keep grinding games. Eventually, I'll run into opponents dumb enough to lose to me. Me of all people. And my final goal, possibly the most ambitious of them, is to write 3 songs featuring Vocaloids. Because when I got my wisdom teeth removed, I spent a bunch of money rewarding myself for surviving the surgery with the Vocaloid 5 editor. The Vocaloid 6 editor is now available, and what exactly do I have to show for it? So I've gotta actually use these Vocaloids, like, now. I have to justify that purchase. It's already almost too late for me to say that I have done that, but, you know, we start when we start. You know, we can't go back and start earlier, so we go forward and start later. That's later on this year. I'm going to hopefully upload a Yuzuki Yukari original, a Gumi English original, and a Sega Vocaloid original. Azuki and Matcha are owned by Sega. Did you know that? They have an anime. Unbeknownst to the slideshow, I have a variety of unannounced projects that I do hope will get off the ground this year. But I can't really put them on the slideshow because they're not announced. And this is not the video that announces them. That's the end of the slideshow. Well, thank you for watching a bunch of me talking about myself. I think I'll avoid too much of that in general. That's not one of my favorite things to do. I'd rather talk about stuff that's actually interesting. If you go down to the description of this video, there are links to many different things that you can check out. Things that I've mentioned, things that I have not mentioned. There's lots of links, and there's explanations of where the links go, so that you don't just click on something random and end up somewhere random. So read the description. If you already read the description, you're ahead of the game. I don't know, like the video? You don't have to. I use my liked playlist for music, so I never actually like videos when people tell me to like them, because I don't want them showing up in my shuffle. But hey, if what I said seems interesting, if you want to see me pursue those goals that I mentioned, you do benefit from subscribing to the channel. that will, alert you to things. Well, it'll put them in your subscription feed. If you want alerted to things, I guess you have to click on the other thing. Don't do that. Don't bother with that. You don't need a notification when I upload some random video at like 3 in the morning. Actually, I usually schedule those. I'll try not to publish things at 3 in the morning. Pacific time, that is. If you're just halfway across the world, then I can't really control when you get my stuff. Well, no debut stream is complete without a karaoke segment, but I've made sure to put this at the very end of the video. I'm giving you a chance to escape. You can leave, you can leave, you can leave, you can leave. Alright, so I'm gonna leave that clip in because I thought it was funny, but it's 2 a.m. and I really cannot get this to sound even passable, so karaoke is cancelled. Okay, seriously, go look at the description. I have a lot of links for you to at least consider clicking on before you go. If you've stuck with me for any of the last 2 years, I gotta say thanks for that. And if this is the first you've seen of me, then welcome. Nice to meet ya. Either way, I really hope I'm able to make all of this worth our time together. I'll try to see you soon.
Hello, Peter.